Basically, sit on the beachhead. You know you can't make it across. Kill everybody as they approach the coastline. Just kill them uphill. Go for the points. Don't bother about the placement. Take as many bodies as you can and stick as many points on the board. Pretty much before the blue gets a hold of you.
Do we believe it's actually going here?
It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Quite a lot of these teams are kind of doing the same with this.
They're all going to go on that eastern road, I'm pretty sure. At least the ones close enough by. What, 3D Max went that far, Besiktas, Desperados went that far. The Desperados have just pulled up, and they're actually the team I was going to look at to really kind of start delivering here. They did incredibly through their group stage, and I want to see them do really well here. They looked like a little bit warmer in that last game, and 3D Max player is legging it. Get out of that. Don't fancy that. No. Go for a run.
Problem is, he's on his own, and his teammates are quite far behind, a good 600-700 meters, and they've also stopped. So they won't be coming any further. They're playing a 3-1 for now. Real-time rankings on the left-hand side. Tornado is, yeah, that's an interesting scoreline to say the least. I'm sorry, boys, but you've got to step it up from here. That's appalling. 3D Max, NLT, 3D Max expected more from. I'm just looking across further the middle. Besiktas out of that top 8 zone, so if they've already got the boots on the ground over on the island, and it does go that way, again, you're banking on that circle movement coming your way. DA and Unity chomping at the bit, and Zen as well, all in that 24-22 mark. It's quite close, I will say. You know, if we go down from 4th all the way down to 12th, it's one of the even ends are just out of it.
Uh-oh, hold on. Rotation from the team who shall not be named. James on the move, trying to get out with the rest of them. Does have a little bit of a, a little bit of a dangerous route to go, but we'll be perfectly fine. Looking at this one, Digital Athletics did hold up Fuzzface too, so I think FaZe might be having a little bit of a trickier rotation than they potentially like. But we are seeing Zooked and Nam in the south getting towards us, and FaZe has the rest of the squad now joining up with Fuzzface and 8C, who are a little bit further ahead. I think they're back in their vehicles and on the move, so that threat should be quelled by now. We do see Na'Vi slightly further to the north of them, all coming in from that kind of, I guess, western side. But Northern Lights, again, are in a very good spot here to keep a couple of teams out of the circle if they do try and go on that slightly southern area or north of, I guess, Los Leones. No other team yet really committing to the islands. A couple sitting towards that, as you said, shark fin in the north. If you remember the way it kind of hooks around, you can see a Vanguard up there currently. Nice circle for them in a way, because they're looting so far north normally. This isn't that bad for them. They can get themselves in towards that position. Desperados have found their spot. 3D Max splitting a little bit here, but we saw that Nokia was out on his own, so he might try and rejoin eventually. Unity have got themselves into position. Northern Lights spread across their western side. Ensa there, but Besiktas are very isolated from each other. A couple of 1-1 splits here.
Impala will get very busy, regardless of where the circle goes. Again, they've committed one player. I mean, I say it's a commitment. He's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the main island, right? He can get back in his boat and crack on. The advantage that Tommel gives being here, and again, you are banking and playing this one early. On the circle going that way, but he's basically a lighthouse. If he's got a scope, he can be zooming around and looking around and seeing who wants to be the first one to try and make the challenge and step up to it. Avanga, Tommel on our map keeps looking that way, so I reckon he has tabs on them. If Besiktas want to play this one, they will go his way, hit the beaches, and maybe even pick up points in the boats. That's the added advantage of already being there. You can kill people on arrival in the water. There's no real response. So yeah, the final migration is going to be happening right now. FaZe are inside. Digital Athletics will take the backside of Los Leones. Zooked and Nam at the bottom.
Liquid have to get past them.
It'll be difficult. You do have
because you have 7 on the other side too. It's not a clean southern push. One, right? Yeah, I feel as though they're aware there's a potential of a team to be in this area, but I don't know how much they're going to commit to looking for it. Zooked and Nam are in the town, which makes it slightly harder to see them. I think 7 already moving up as well. I might be shifting further north. That could give a bit of a shift to Team Liquid if they want to move slightly further to the west. So we'll find out if that's going to work out for them. We do see a couple of the other teams potentially looking for areas to move into. FaZe have got themselves there. Digital Athletics are moving in towards Northern Lights. We'll see how Liquid approaches in this one. They're just about going to receive some fire. It's Page and Ivor, and actually Gemty's been caught. Big loss. And uh-oh, they flipped the vehicle. Samty is barrel rolling away. And I don't think he can get out of this one too easily. No, Samty needs to run, boy, run. Fire from everywhere coming in, and we know that Zooked and Nam can rack up bodies.
The corkscrew off of the road, and Eki's already there to do some damage, force him down onto the beachhead. The bulk of Liquid has not actually even made it into the zone yet. James +1 in the back of the
circle
vehicle.
coming in
Do
now
need
as
to
well.
arrive. Let's see if we get the crunch. Does it swing? Do we go island? Do we go land?
Oh.
Okay. We are going more towards the north. So Avanga's commitment to sit there have actually kind of paid off. Tomo will be able to come back across and meet the rest of Besiktas. Actually, you know who's laughing here at the moment? You're going to see Desperados, Tornado Energy all the way down at the bottom of the board. Might be able to get a relatively good position. It will be on the top of a slight hill, depending on where this next circle will go, but certainly down south, FaZe Clan, NLT, DA7, Zen still going head-to-head with Team Liquid. There are a lot of players that are going to find it hard to get into this one should ENCE decide to set up shop on the mainland. Besiktas and Desperados, we need to keep an eye on them too. Those teams are going to be as soon as I say that, they clash, they get eyes on one another. And Simsy might feel the full force here. He does have this hill to play off the back of, should he want to go a little bit further north. But remember, Tommel's not here, and the rest of Besiktas, they're on the opposing side. Okay, so Ultra's quite close. There is one who's just rallied back. But again, only having this hillside, there's no real hard cover. The grenades will do the damage if Desperados want to try and use that utility against them.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary for Besiktas because there's all those southern teams moving up as well. It's not like they can keep this forever. If other teams go on the coastline, you have a Vanguard to the north, it could be quite worrying. And speaking of worrying, FaZe trying to rotate here. A couple of shots coming in from potentially a third party. The aim punch came in, maybe potentially cost a bullet or two to land. And FaZe can't stay alive for now. I don't know how long. They might have to just pull up here, try and get a heal off, but they've made it at least to a safety.
That's the luckiest shot in the world. IT's damaged. He'll be inside the little hangar, getting his health back, no problems there. DA do pull up though. Maicho sees him, will tag him for now. Out of the vehicle, into the building we go again. Skims his butt cheeks. It's going to be dangerous. Mexi has gone down, spots him, holds the angle, pays the price for getting too overzealous there. And he's only wearing level 1 armor as well, so that's some big damage done and a good response from DA.
Oh, FaZe have lost players. We saw this rotation was going to be tricky. It's actually ENCE, I think, keeping down Moxie, who was the last one alive last time around. I don't know if there's a potential pickup here. I don't think there is, if I'm honest. Fuzzface and 80 did find a compound in the end. They did get themselves in there after that very, very precarious route that they took, and it might be time to move up again. Not happy with current position. It looks like the nade's in hand, and this could seal the deal. Actually got stolen away, so that will go to ENCE, who do need the points. And that vehicle, sadly, did not provide safety for that FaZe player.
Avanga have come down from the little hillside of the cliff face that they were holding. And they cut off a large amount of space up in the north by doing so. Besiktas, unfortunately, will find themselves stuck in the middle between them and Desperados. Tornado Energy did central up. And because they were in the north and so late to the party, it's given them a good foothold into this map. 3D Max need to be careful. They might get an eye line onto NIP. NIP have gone for the 2-2 split to hold the crossroad. We will jump on board with another fight in the bottom corner. ENCE grenades are up. The smokes are down. Was that a warning? Yeah, it was. Okay, so it was a pre-smoke to run away, which denies any vision on 7 where they're going to be going. They can split against the wall. Gives very limited cover, and I expect a grenade to be coming up any second. Elderweiss heals are off. He's in trouble.
Ivor trying to go rock climbing. Actually, that's a really good tag on Enemy Lord Bro. We do see the trade coming in. That's from another member of Zuktan from further back. Another shift towards the northern side here. And I like the attempt from 7 to go for that 2-2 split. They had 2 of their players still on the eastern side near the main road. They put, I think it was Buster and Edelweiss towards ENCE, but there was already ENCE players there. They've been able to fall back from this, and it looks like they've been able to find potentially more pressure towards the south. 7 are looking towards Northern Lights. We are seeing Quizzy this time, focusing towards Zuktan. How did that nade not get that kill? It was a little bit further back. It bounced too far away. And Team Liquid trying to find a new avenue through, but these guys are really risking it. And so many shots landing. Santi's gone. Another big loss here. Liquid are really struggling this time.
Several different angles come laying down. 2 players, one on the front, one on the back.
That bike's not looking so good, Rich.
No, a little bit of smoke as well. If they unfortunately clip the backside of a house, it could be job done for Liquid here. 16th place.
They're going to die on this.
It's kind
3D
of
Max,
up a little bit.
NIP, everyone can see these guys. If they manage to pull off this rotation, I'll be very impressed. They've just pulled up towards NIP. There it goes, they're done. Out in last place. Big disparity from yesterday's games. Little unfortunate, you could say, but their rotations were found every single step of the way. And if anything, they lost out in the southern push, they lost out in the western push, and they were a little bit careless with the routes they were taking. I guess if you're going to go for it, you have to just send it, but you're going to meet force, and they did.
making the best of a bad situation, but hell, when you're so far ahead in this competition, it's a tiny, tiny little chink in the armor, 95 points at the top, and when seconds only got 37, you know what I mean?
Fine.
It's a huge, they could literally come last in every single one of these games and be still top of the border with a chance of easily winning it tomorrow. But nevertheless, 16th place, it'll help out all those that are looking and chomping at the bit to get to that #1 spot. Vanga have moved a little bit more inland towards Besiktas. Besiktas have moved upwards. They'll hold the high ground for now. Tornado Energy don't move, which, okay, they are kind of central, but certainly not in the most safest of positions. There is an open line of sight from several teams looking onwards. The Jokers have taken a hillside, almost kind of like before in the previous round, where they put some forward and held a plateau to open up a good amount of view in front of them. Digital Athletics, they might make an entry point on Elazar all the way up at the top, because they're still playing off the back of the blue. NLT, the blues chasing them. Same goes for Zen. 7, lots of room to play with. Down on the beachhead, no one's near them at all. But they have to be careful. This circle will continuously move forward now because there is that edge of blue in.
Oh, Na'Vi are getting very close to NIP here. Rich, had to cut you off on that one because FaZe are down below too. Na'Vi have committed to this, and 3D Max, keep in mind, are down to their south. Look at the minimap, you can see it. The nade! Oh, it's so good from Gaxi! Just catching them completely off guard. That's Northern Lights. Kind of further away, that's in the blue. This is gonna be a huge battle. This is gonna be a bloodbath. Look at the nades, Gaxi again. Catching out Senya, that's confirmed. What started, Bestlog, Pokemon, a doozy isolated on his own. FaZe now trying to find the players who are trying to peel away back down the hill. Ents, where are they? They're even further off in this field. They're further south. That's behind this fight. That's going towards Unity. And Rostamar taking a very ambitious shot on towards Orange Snow. But outside of this, Unity are trying to stay alive. But this battle is so, so scary. 3D Max, look at Noki's angle. He's tried to deliver something to maybe alleviate the pressure on Phantom, who's been pinned down by Na'Vi.
The tooling's dead. Squeaky will confirm the point for Ez. Gaxi unfortunately clips Miraku in the back of the head, so he will get knocked. Aitzi, battle of his life here, holding down this compound on his own. Fuzzface is at the mercy of running this open one, but that nade from Orange Snow finds 2. Trifeli gets knocked, 1 gets confirmed.
FaZe are trying to crash towards NIP, but the Jokers are making it very difficult. They're caught down on the low side of the hill. Unity trying to make their run in here, but it's Uber who's been caught off by Miraku. Not too surprising. The angle works very nicely in the end. Maybe stealing that potentially away from Jokers, who would really have wanted those points. And Na'Vi split between a rock and a hard place. You go north, you get this battle. You go south, you get 3D Max, you get Unity, you get that Ents fight. It's very, very tricky. Nade, this is the replay that caught off Ents. That really did save the day there, because that could have been a revive coming through. That could have been everything working out for them.
We need to keep a focus and a tab on the west. NIP, Na'Vi.
They're all trying to swing north.
Tornado Energy. Really quickly, while this is quiet, I want to touch on what the circle did. You wouldn't expect this one. It's supposed to shift away from water. Yes, it has done, but it hasn't gone as north or as west as what these teams may have preemptively thought. It's still quite far down south, so it's a weird and wonderful one, and may have thrown everything that these western teams were banking on into the wind. We'll come back to these fights, though. This is on the west. Crossface lays down the hammer, gets the tap, gets the job done, but he's a last man standing, and there's so many solos and so many broken teams here. This is so messy.
Side, because 3D Max moved up further north, so they're going to catch off Na'Vi. Their backs are completely open towards it. The Jokers could be next. NIP still hold numbers, which is good for them, and they're slowly moving further north. Tornado Energy could be the final block for all these teams, potentially, or Digital Athletics. 3D Max can now shuffle themselves in further towards the east, get to safety. Fuzzface trying to make a low ground play, which is very, very dangerous, and he knows it. I'm not sure if the Jokers have a glimpse. Now they do. Fuzzface trying to stay alive, keep the eyes off him, but it's not just the Jokers who can see this. Tornado Energy are off towards the further northern side, and that's Melman laying in fire. This is not ideal for Fuzzface, and he knows it. He is now in a very bad spot.
The adrenaline comes in, so it'll give him the full stim. Allows him speed and the fastest heals as well. Tornado Energy.
Gaxi, what are you up to?
That jump, oh, does a bit of damage.
Yeah, but it slows him down on the landing. Vard's there too. Gaxi is not in a very good spot at this point, and they're losing out on players elsewhere. Miraku is confirmed, gone down. 80 is finally lost. That bled through. Fuzzface went down to the nade, pinned into that low ground position, and while those nades have landed, Vard's just gone down. It's just Gaxi, if I'm not mistaken, left alive, and Tornado Energy are everywhere in the third-party system coming in. You're going to have Na'Vi pushing through this way. You potentially have the Jokers pushing through this way. It's not without answering. These nades are trickling down the hill. I think Gaxi might be done for here. He is indeed. Compot gets that one under the belt.
Unity 15th, FaZe 14th, NIP 13th. This is what happens when you have so many teams banking into one certain area. The West was just littered and scattered with bodies, and all of a sudden it's all coming down to two teams, Na'Vi and 3D Max. They have to fight their way through Tornado Energy. They hold the compound and essentially hold the high ground, and this will deny them access to the circle, the Joker as well. I'm forgetting them. They're also in the top end of this one in the north. This is still a very heavily weighted battle towards the west. Another team falls just like that. A team we were speaking about involved in that one, it's Na'Vi.
Yeah, it was the great play from 3D Max coming up from the southern side, but the Desperados are still in this, quieter than the rest. They've snuck their way in from the southern side. They're in a good spot here. They will have to eventually move up, but they can slow down Northern Lights. The remainder of Ents, they can maybe make some threats towards the 3D Max squad, because Digital Athletics are now splitting 2 players south. They need to be careful of Besiktas. We do have the Jokers running northern side. They're going to try and slip their way in here, but this is going to be the Ents battle going on as well. That was Mikas taking down Anime Lord Bro, the last man alive for Northern Lights. A beautiful death did find Noki, and that's out towards the western side of this. This fight is not going to be the big one either. Keep in mind you do have Tornado Energy, 2 players working up towards Digital Athletics, and then they're focusing down towards the north, which has got the Jokers in it.
The Jokers are making a pretty good run here and a good approach to the circle for the simple fact they're trying to avoid all that western embankment where all the teams are still laying around. One player does go down from the side of 3D Max. I think he might be done here for the simple fact that Desperados may be using that as bait to essentially bring people towards him, try and get the res, and then deny it with a nade or 2. The Jokers finally do approach the circle, but DA, they know the rest, or what's left, should I say, of Tornado Energy is lingering over the edge, and the engagement will come through. The first one's found. A beautiful death. We'll switch on to the second player. There is a response 4 times on the back. There is a comp on that Scar, so it should be able to do some damage.
Oh, look at this barrage going off.
The grenades will probably just confirm in here. If not, we should push
still
onto
alive. But there's been a third party in the meantime. They can't do this because the Jokers, they've had to turn attention here. Samson's going to be alive in this situation. Maybe a nade could catch him potentially, but with Besiktas, Jokers, and a Vanguard all focusing in the north, Digital Athletics have to turn their attention to the bigger problem, the bigger threat right now, which is towards the east. Samson's going to be isolated on his own. Mert's still checking on it too, which is really good. This is good mentality from the players to keep tabs on everything on all fronts. The Desperados are making the move right towards 3D Max, so 3D Max need to prepare themselves as well. That'd be a nice bit of revenge for them. 7 are being very low-key in this, but they have all players standing as well, quite central-ish towards the south. And Mert's still looking here. But Talzera is going to be very close towards Phantom, towards Noki, and the rest of them have to move up that way as well. There is one man standing for Zuktanam looking very close by towards the Desperados.
7 have done this yesterday where they just bide their time and get the right time to strike, and they're doing it now. Really, they don't have to move. They've got a good foothold in this circle. They've got a good compound that can play off the back of. Besiktas are up in the north, basically just controlling the entirety of the hillside. Mert gets a response. Kamka, the lone solo, wants to follow it up. He switched now to the red
Perfect
dot.
timing.
Oh, peek over this edge, but he's got to be careful because there's someone on his right-hand side. But Desperados, from a distance, have done the damage. That's basically cost him his life. It took all of his health. Sixmo said, thank you very much. Easy kill, GG.
Yeah, Tornado Energy going down. 3D Max now pinched. Desperados made the timing work for them well. They're going to sound Talzera straight in towards the circle. They've left a couple of players back here, potentially to try and control that western side. There's a lot of teams here, though. Digital Athletics is certainly one of them. 3D Max pushing their players up early as well. You've got 7 being able to see a lot of this side of the hill. Hence why so many of these players are prone down at the moment. Digital Athletics getting so much fire towards Desperados moving in on their vehicles. 7 could capitalize on this. They could be slightly further behind. They're going to be on foot, but they could take the fight towards the Desperados as they pull up into that new circle. The blue is going to force these players forward, though. Oh, and Besiktas moving south. They want to keep tabs on this.
They'll hurt all the vehicles, and they know that Desperados is probably their biggest concern in the fact that they'll be at the bottom of the foothill.
The nades.
The thing is, for 7, they have a very large open ground that they need to cover.
Besiktas can see it. The nade did find Talzera, but everyone else can see what's happening from the high ground, which now opens up towards 7. There's going to be a lot of third parties going on. Codamenta did go to Digital Athletics. This is a big pickup. These guys are racking up bodies here. They really are earning points, and they're taking a great deal of fights. Besiktas this time, again, looking over the Desperados, keeping tabs, keeping eyes on towards 7. As for it is there, you have a lot of the Vanguard squad slowly creeping forward out of these compounds, building up towards Simzi, Lux, Ultra, but you don't want to be that one man going off. A nade could be Sublime, but there's threats further beyond this, and it looks like Lux and Simzi know their weakness.
I like this. They've fallen back to take this fight head on because they know Vanguard have to make the move. Besiktas, if they focus too much towards all the bodies and all the players in the west. If they commit to that too much, it could be a knife in the back of Anger. Creeping really slow. Wait, what?
Last man alive. He was one of the isolated snakes down towards the south. He did eventually get traded on by Crab. He's gone out. Bazooka Nun has a player there as well, so they're all looking for these small pickups.
Solo snakes.
It's all you can do, I guess.
Yeah.
7 have been forced to kind of creep back into the small part of this compound. They can't really work too much beyond that for now. That next circle, if it shifts north, they are screwed. But Desperados now take all the attention from the south. They're getting all eyes from 7 towards them, but I think they just swatted them back. It was Fake who got Edelweiss.
I'm so glad you touched on it, because the movement from them has to go now. The circle should shift away from them. Basically, you have 7 just locked down into a compound, and this is what Avanga want to try and avoid. That's why they're putting Asverin up the hillside to give them a level of cover should they have to make the move. Circle does go away from all of these.
Oh, this is scary.
And it leaves basically Besiktas up top. Now, the problem for Besiktas is everyone's going to come their way.
It's all on them,
They
right?
could literally have a fight on 5 different fronts. They need to commit to one and make sure that that entire team's dead. They sweep it clear before focusing onto a separate fight altogether.
All right, let's look at where this goes. You have 7 down to the south. They are not in, and they have a very scary route. Everyone can see them, but they may have fights elsewhere, more pressing fights to look towards. Buster's caught off the eastern push.
That's big.
Zukta Nam can steal it. They have. Maxi is theirs. Avanga are moving from the northeastern side. They've lost out on the most southern player that had pushed there. Besiktas are looking north towards the Jokers who need to move in, but out on the west. Digital Athletics still have 4 players up and still very scary. They are pressuring 3D Max. Sigmo is committing to this angle so hard right now. That is a very scary prospect to do. One sort of mini shot forcing you off that, you're done for. But he stays into this one. Vargo is there, and this guy's a fragger as well. Phantom on the run, gets caught in the heels. It's a trade, but it's not good for 3D Max. They are done for. Bambaki gets 10 kills for these guys. They're going off. Besiktas are about to take some fights here as well. Avanga are closing in.
Avanga might realize a third party could be a realistic thing. The tab does find Simsy and instantly buries him into the ground. Follows up with the M4. That's job done. 7 now need to make a move from these compound. Desperados put themselves in a position that they will have an eye line on this one. There's 2 players already gone down. Avanga do steal. Buster did creep out and kind of did what Asverin did earlier on. This is the problem if you're Besiktas. Where do you go? What do you commit to? They're on a 2-1 split, and all of a sudden you've got the Monsters D on the left-hand side. They're going to creep in this. They could throw everything into the wind that Besiktas has been trying to build on top of the hill.
This is terrifying. Look at a beautiful death. Look at Bambaki. Look at Sixmo. Look at Mert. They're in the perfect sweep position. 5 teams standing. Besiktas in the middle. Avanga on the other side. And in the south, you have Desperados. And you have 1 man for 7, which is Buster. Now, who takes which fight? That's the part here. Look at them all closing in towards Besiktas. You don't want to overpeak. Oh, sick pickup from Sixmo. Buster is out of there. Top 4 teams now. 7 still push quite high considering. Now, in theory, Besiktas can try and avoid all of this and let these 2 teams fight it out. But I don't know if that's going to happen. It looks like a Digital Athletics are looking south here as well. They're leaving Mert a little further north, and it's gone east. Digital Athletics, if I'm them, I'm looking for that southern push across on the kind of side of the hill. Nice nade! How is Lux alive? Barely breathing, and they are moving south. This could be their downfall. Calvin Klein and Fake is there. The nade has come through. Here comes the push. Fake peeks up perfectly. Gets down 1, sprays on 6 mode. Can't get that, has to fall back. Fake needs a reload. Calvin Klein now strikes. A beautiful death with a hip fire. Brave as anything to peek over this hill. They keep themselves in this. 3 players stand. Bambaki is knocked. And while all this happens, Tomil is creeping from the north. Ultra stays alive in the middle, trying to be that rotation point.
He actually hit the deck, so I'm wondering if the player that was shooting him thought he'd actually got the knock. How Zero does lay down the hammer. Mert forces back instantly, switches to the AKN, gets the job done. Now he can approach the oncoming assault. There's still 2 players there. One of them's highly damaged. Fake gets confirmed.
Third party
is done. Job done. Calvin Klein will sweep it up. A beautiful death now, still going hard. Job done. 15 kills in the bag. This could be a huge boost for them. And quite a huge swing as well. Where are they located at the moment when we look at the leaderboards?
I think they're around 9th, 10th.
They're 9th place.
Tomil is the dagger in the back, though, and I know they'll want to take him down. Certainly a target in their minds. Let's see what he can do here. He's being the thorn in the side to Digital Athletics. He's just chipped away at 1, but he gets spotted. Bambaki is low, though, and can't heal right now. Only has bandages. Tomil, if he peeks this ridge, that could be it. Oh, Tomil is going off. as a one-man band. We saw what he did on Erangel. Is he going to be able to do this sort of work again? A beautiful death still stands. Ultra is playing so calm. Look at Ultra right now. He's got 3 players in front of him as well. He's got Azverin, Nokitiv, Snoopy all there. He's going to be calling this one out. If Tomil can go off against a beautiful death, Ultra could do something. Is it his time to strike now? Bambaki bleeds out. We've got a beautiful death alive. Tomil trying to stay alive. They're lining up for him. If he goes for this, it would be huge. He's creeping forward. He sees all 3 players. Look, he's just seen him. He's been turned on. He waited too long. The iron cooled down. You have to strike while it's hot, and it's just Tomil looking against the world. There is a beautiful death, but he's peeled off to the south. Tomil under fire. Can he find one of these players? Oh, the nade, it's so good. Besiktas are done. We're down to 1 man against the rest of the Vanguard.
A beautiful death. It's going to be a very hard task. A nice pick here on the 24 would be absolutely savage. Unless he decides just to give it up. He knows the grenades are ringing in. He sees the bodies, but Avanga say no. The boys from the CIS, they wait. They bide their time to strike, sitting in the compound just on the eastern front. Been held at gunpoint basically all that time by Besiktas, but Besiktas is, their position was really good. It was central. They had a lot of ground to play with. But it was just simply how many teams were standing at the end. It was too much. It broke their economy down. They all split. A little bit unfortunate that we saw from the end that one player, not, as you mentioned, striking when the iron was hot. He had 2 players lined up. There was a player looking for a grenade that there was, I think there was a bullet from the opposing side from an Avanga member. Yeah. Essentially turned around, clipped the edges, like, nope, the player behind you, turn quickly, job done. Might have been a different story if he'd have been able to knock 1 or 2. But certainly, a lot of kills in the bag there for Digital Athletics. Yeah, that's a good amount of points.
Yeah, that was really nicely done by them. Going off the whole game through, it felt like. Vanguard, though, as you said, their timing was good. I was a little worried when we saw that remaining Besiktas player. You could see a world in which if Tomil had won that fight cleanly and somehow literally 1v3'd them with potentially some third-party help, it could have worked out that way. Or, there's ways in your mind that you work it out, but it wasn't to be. In the end, the Vanguard, purely those numbers alive, was just, too much to handle.
In theory, they shouldn't have made it up that hill for the simple fact that when you've got so many people, it is an uphill struggle.